Mike.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing, man? Holy shit.
I'm having a pretty good day. How are you doing?
Very good. Yeah, we're live right now, and I played a few minutes of the beginning of your phone discussion you had on your program with Bubba the Love Sponge, and I just can't get enough of it. It's such
I watched it like 6 times.
It's such a good example of how to disassemble somebody. You didn't give him the chance to even chime in with stuff, but not by yelling over him, by calculated attacks on his character. It was so fucking well done.
The good thing is he's got such a horrible character that I got about 20%. 80% of shit I didn't even get to.
Yeah.
And people now are always spinning it in all different directions, and I lowered the volume. I released a video so you could watch my hands on the board. I didn't lower his volume. That's what happens, when everybody talks at once.
Yeah.
It's going to always overpower on my end. It'll always take my mic higher than anything else. And I'm sure it was the exact same on his end. So, I played it as honest as I could today, and I called him out on just about everything I could in that short amount of time, and the other guy wouldn't shut up. And I've been doing this too long to talk to people's interns.
Yeah.
If you want to call me and be a man, face me man to man, and we'll talk it out. The problem is he couldn't carry that conversation, so he needed other people to chime in. I told my guys all to keep their mouth shut, and it was just me and him, and he couldn't handle it.
What's the background on any problems you two have had over the years?
He used to do a good show. He started in Tampa doing nights, and I was his producer. And then when he went to mornings, I went there, and I worked with him in mornings from 96 to 2000. And as I grew, I started when I was a kid with him. And as I grew, he got lazy. I wanted to do more and get better, and he just got lazier and lazier. And we just didn't see eye to eye, and he eventually fired me. Nothing. And then he's made up a million stories I stole from him and all this shit, but nothing he could ever prove and nothing that I ever did. I'm always honest about it.
Yeah. And
immediately, CBS hired me. And I worked there for a couple of years, which is, I believe, the first time I called you guys when I got fired from CBS.
Yeah, I remember
that. and then when I was doing mornings, they wanted to bring him back to terrestrial radio. And they said, would you go to afternoons? And I was like, fuck yeah, I don't want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning anymore. They kept my pay the same. They kept my staff the same. All I had to do was switch to afternoons. I was like, fine. And we did it. We went to afternoons. We debuted there at number 1, and we were number 1 for 5 years. And then they just didn't like him. He's toxic for a company. His show has gone downhill over the last couple of years, and Cox didn't want him anymore. They had the option to pick him up for another year, and they didn't want him to be part of the company. So they came to me and they said, we're going to let him out of his contract, and we want you to go to mornings.
Wow.
And I said, great, give me a lot of money, and I'll take it. And they did, so now I'm getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning again.
And he's got obviously a beef with you because he feels there was no loyalty or anything.
Yeah, but he thinks because I worked with him at one point that I owe everything to him. His show sucked when I worked on it. He was never even number 1. He was new to doing mornings. He didn't even really know how to do it. I helped him more than anything. Instead of being appreciative, he's just a jealous dick now because he doesn't want to see me do well. And I've been doing very well. I'm the only person that ever left his show that didn't have to go back to him. I've been doing my own show for 14 years in the same market, which is unheard of in radio. I make really good money. I've made a good living here, and I've got no complaints. And I just signed a 5-year contract. I'm not going anywhere. And this douche coming back today like he's king in the mountain. It's just his process. He gets back on the air. He gets into a shitty syndicated market, and he tries to attack the top 40 show, whatever is number 1, like old school morning zoo radio.
Yeah, that's old school radio fights. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, because the guys are chicken shits, and they won't take his phone call. But there was no way I was losing that battle. So the first time he called me, I picked up and took his phone call, manhandled him, and now I'm done with him. And now he'll spend the rest of the next week talking about me.
It really is taking off too. Like I didn't even know what had happened, and I start going through social media and whatnot, and the clip is turning up everywhere. And it's because it's just really funny. It's well done. And Bubba is not a likable guy, so to have somebody taking him apart like that is really fun to watch.
Can I tell you my favorite part? My favorite part, and I didn't think that this would ever happen. There's a fake character on his show named Ned.
Yes.
And Ned is nothing more than the voice of Mike Waters, who is Manson, who's also on the show. And I've worked with Mike since 1993. So I can't believe that in 2015 people are still buying into the fake character thing. And he's got the nerve to try and call me a hack. You're talking to a fucking character that doesn't exist, and it's the funniest part of your show. Today I call him out on it, and I actually made him do the character while I had him on the phone, and he did it, and it just made me laugh my ass off.
Yeah. I heard that exchange between his fake character and the one that you had started doing at that point.
I made up Cliff. Cliff's my new favorite guy.
Yeah, Cliff. Oh shit! It was really funny. I was genuinely entertained listening to it, and I think anybody that wants to find the clip, it's very easy. Where can everybody find you, Mike?
Facebook.com/The Mike Calta Show, CALTA, and I'm on Twitter at Mr. Mike Calta. And I really I'm a big fan of you guys. You've always been good to me anytime I need anything, and I really appreciate it, man.
Oh, no problem. Just like I said, great job, and good talking to you. Keep in touch, man.
Hey, same here. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Mike. There he goes.